So I think this is my 10th or 11th event. So I always enjoy getting around the telco agents and all the vendors that are here. I've probably keynoted a half a dozen times, if not a couple of times more than that. I was the first keynote at the Channel Partners Cloud event a couple of years back. So, I'm a full supporter of making sure that this community continues to learn and grow as technology and markets shift.
So it's our 20th year of the show. How have you seen the industry shift, and what do you see as its future?
So this industry has been rapidly moving, right? The first thing was sort of moving more towards recurring revenue and sort of expanding beyond the hardware side of things and leaning into more software. And then it was more around managed services and expanding sort of the footprint of managed services that were being provided. And then maybe about 6 or 7 years ago, we all started talking about cloud and sort of what are the things that are going to happen there. Maybe 3 years ago, it was about sort of how does software define networks and sort of white box play and these new paradigms and these new players that are entering. And now it's really about this whole comprehensive offer of businesses trying to take advantage of all that technology can enable from a business perspective, and especially around communication and mobility, which this community is right at the center of. So it's a great place for them to be.
We're here to grow our communications business, meet some vendors, have some fun, find out about new products, and just enjoy ourselves.
It's a great show every year, looking to continue to promote our brand, grow our channel program, network with a lot of good people, and continue to work with some of the newer agents that are in the market.
Perfect. So I'm gonna go. Let me know if I have another question for you.
Uh-oh.
So, how long have you been in the industry?
15 years.
Okay, so you've seen a lot of changes
A
over
lot,
the years.
yes.
So from when you started to where it is now, how have you seen it grow, and what do you see for its future?
I think telecom is telecom. It's become a lot more commoditized. Data center kind of ties into telecom. It's been the way things are going. Everybody's caught up on this cloud model. I think what you're going to start seeing more of is a hybrid cloud model, which takes colocation and all-site cloud storage together, and then of course intertwines the telecom part of it, which will always be there.
Vegas, right? I got my top engineer with me from Netel One, so we figured if we're going to go to a show, we might as well go to Vegas. I usually go to the East Coast show, but feeling a little saucy this year, so yeah. And we came out. We came out actually with the top of mind was to find a billing platform for what we're doing as far as reselling services. So we're an MSP, so we need our own billing platform. So came out looking for that.
Cool. So it's you've been in the industry for quite some time now. We were talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
How have you seen the industry shift in the 15 years that you've worked, and what do you see for its future?
So the biggest switch, obviously, that's been talked about here all week is the change from hardware sales and maintenance billing to the cloud, right? We've had to completely embrace the cloud. We're a smaller company. We made that switch roughly 7 years ago, and that's completely changed our business model, and a lot of our competitors have gone under for not making that change. So we've learned a lot of that coming to these shows and learning from seeing where the industry's going and making good contacts. So it's been very good to us, so I'll keep coming for the next 20 years.
I've been coming here for more than 10 years. I've been in telecom for 29 years. A lot has changed since I've been coming here. Some of the changes are, it was hugely focused on telecom. Now I see, cloud computing vendors, and then SaaS providers, software as a service providers. So it has spread its wings, but I have to tell you, the telecom agents are having a hard time diversifying outside of telecom. They're having a hard time. So I believe there's a lot of education required to make the telecom agents much more broader, much more visionary than just focused on circuitry. Because one day, circuitry will become zero. It's a race to zero. So one of these days, somebody will say, you buy my services, and I will give you the bandwidth for free. And then what happens to your business model? It's going to go up in smoke. So they need to lose their sleep and start getting themselves educated on other products like cloud computing, software as a service, managed services, etc.
So why are you coming to the show?
Because I still get some of my businesses from telecom, but telecom has become so cutthroat competitive. It's always price, price, and price, right? And everybody is competing with low price. Whereas in cloud computing, it's not so price sensitive. We still enjoy 50% gross margin on the cloud computing side. So we do both computing and communications. We are like a micro mini IBM Global Services. We take over the entire infrastructure and run it for the customer, and that is working like magic. So the telecom agents should catch on to some of these services so that one day they wake up and become a typewriter or a travel agent. And you don't want to be obsolete because you still have a family, you got to feed the family.
I'm here to connect with suppliers and get some more knowledge around a few things. I'm particularly interested in SD-WAN, hybrid IT, and UCaaS.
Awesome. So over the 20 years, there's been a big shift in telecom in the channel. What do you see for its future?
I think it's just going to continue to go up in terms of sales made by agents and partners as opposed to the direct rep models of previous years, and definitely a bigger emphasis on cloud, and we'll continue to press the envelope into hybrid IT and basically move everything over to cloud eventually.
I've been in the channel for under a year, and this is clearly a spot to be, learn about the new trends in the industry and see who the big players are in the space.
Cool. So it's our 20th anniversary of the show. As I mentioned, a lot of things have changed over the years. What do you see for the future of the channel?
Sure, I think everything is moving to more of a, just like everyone else has already probably said, is more cloud defined and more software defined. You'll see a lot of the bigger players losing more of the barriers to entry that maybe used to keep some of the smaller guys out, and more laser focused companies doing very micro solutions, which I think really makes more of a need for suppliers in the space and partners who can kind of help customers digest the landscape a little bit.
Well, you can't miss channel partners, right? I mean, it's the biggest show in the channel every single year in the fall. It's the big show. And the reason that I'm here is because, well, it's kind of my baby because I started Channel Partners many years ago. And now that I have left the company, I have a marketing firm, and many of my clients are here because it's the place to be.
Perfect. So you've been in the industry for quite some time. You started Channel Partners. You've seen a lot of shifts over the years.
have.
What has changed, and what do you see for the industry in the future?
All right, so what has changed? Well, I think that many of the people that have been in this industry for a long time have been focused on very transactional business. They've been focused on just putting up circuits, or on the other side, the bar side, they've been selling hardware, and now they're really focused on the services, and that completely changes the model for them because they really need to be a partner with their customer. They need to actually go into it knowing what the ROI is, how they're going to deliver value, and they need to be accountable. So the big thing that's changing is that they are going to have to be developing adoption practices, accountability practices. It's a very new world for them to not just be one and done and out of there and collecting either their fee or their commission. They actually have to be very invested with their customers about the services that they're delivering.